Good day. This is Jeremy Robinson. I'm the Director of Education and co-founder of iCoach Global, formerly iCoach New York, introducing you today to another one of our amazing iCoach graduates. Today we have Josh Saterman, who is the co-founder and the CEO of Saterman Connect. Welcome, Josh.
Hi, Jeremy. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here. I think that I'd like to use a word from the world of baseball about Josh Saterman and say, don't sleep on Josh Saterman. Don't underestimate him. He came out of a program, and during a time of COVID and during a time of enormous headwinds, he not only graduated from our program, but he managed to form a company and staff it up with some amazing people, many of whom were colleagues of his from the class. So how did this all come about, Josh? Tell us the story.
Thank you. Quite gracious, and I appreciate that. For me, it was all about thinking about the ways to really inspire inclusive leaders. And so my background is in the world of retail, which is surrounded with so many different types of people and types of backgrounds. And so you could be an English major and still be a CEO for a retail company, which opened me up to the world of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And then in addition to that, I use the word privilege to have amazing coaches throughout my career and throughout my life. And so coaching was always a calling, whether it was in service of support for me or in service of support for others. As I grew in the ranks, so to speak, I wanted to be a coach. I was like, I want to piece that action. I want to learn how to do this in a much more impactful way. And so I found my way to iCoach because I had great mentors, and I found that all of them recommended iCoach with such excitement, and led me to connect with Jeremy and many other folks that have led iCoach amongst the years. So that's how I found my way to you.
So tell us, how did that, was that always the plan to turn into the company right away, or did that just get more and more powerful as you were going through the coaching experience?
I had a mentor who, when I was about 23, 24, I was young when I started my career, and she exited the company that I was at. And she said, Josh, you're going to hit a point in your career where I know you and your values are going to exceed the corporate culture that we exist in. And when that happens, follow your passion. And I'm paraphrasing, but essentially that's kind of what she said. And I sort of blew it off and was like, yeah, I love this corporate life, and then I started the adoption journey, have a wonderful daughter now, and wanted to think about next chapter. And so for me, that transition was just open. It was just open space. And what I loved about my experience in the moment where I took iCoach was iCoach offered that possibility of dream about what type of coach you want to be. Your personal style, your model, your approach, your leadership philosophy within the spirit of being a coach. And so initially it was to launch my own coaching practice, and to think about the ways that I could invest in me, I can then invest in others. Funny enough, Jeremy, you were the person that said to me, think about economies of scale. Think about how you bring passion and value and money together so that you can spread what you are so passionate about. And for me, that's connection.
Yes.
And so the coaching, the connection, my experience, and this idea of community, which is why we grew the company. I can be a coach for only so many hours of the week or the year.
Right.
There's shared value among so many of my peers and colleagues. And so that's why we've worked now. We've actually hired iCoach graduates and folks from my own program. We continue to invest in iCoach by recommending iCoach. It's because it is really about, while we started in one place, we know that through growth mindset, we evolve. And now today where we're at is we can do so much more with connection and community as we grow Saterman Connect.
And tell us about Saterman Connect.
So our tagline is the best leaders are inclusive leaders. We wrote a book called Arrive, Drive, Thrive. And essentially you as a leader are constantly in this tandem act of thinking about your own growth, your own development, your team's growth, your colleagues' growth, and the organization's growth. And so it's sort of a framework, and I call it a love letter to leadership.
Nice.
Because we grow in our craft. Like, you're the best salesperson, so therefore you become the manager of other salespeople.
Right.
But through that journey, you never really learned what does it mean to balance the behaviors, the skill sets, the competencies, and the abilities. And so, so Saterman Connect effectively does that. We go in and support evolving corporate culture, specifically in the leadership development and inclusion space. And we leverage tools like executive coaching as a way to really raise up and empower both emerging and existing leaders.
And you do other initiatives in addition to executive coaching?
We do lots of initiatives. We so our Arrive, Drive, Thrive. That was a good plug, Jeremy. That Arrive, Drive, Thrive. Arrive, Drive, Thrive is actually a leadership academy. And so we've built out over 55 different modules that, depending on where a company is in their journey, you know, large, small, growing, shrinking, wherever you are, your people are your business's potential, right? That's how you get best business results, is by unleashing the power of your people. So we have leadership academies, we have workshops, we have speaker series, and we do a lot of work in inclusive leadership around diversity councils, and whether it's ERGs or BRGs. We work with your talent in the spirit of leadership and talent development, but always through the lens of inclusive leadership.
So what's your life like now on a day-to-day basis doing this?
Busy. Busy. No, you know, I love being a dad. It's hard not to start with that. And so
Yes.
I am now, part of my dimensions of diversity also include working parent.
Nice.
And so you know, again, we're on in this moment in time, we have a lot of work to do in our world. So I also am on 2.5. I'm starting to launch another nonprofit with a colleague of mine, where I serve as chair of the board for actually 2 of those boards. So I'm busy between Saterman Connect and working with colleagues there, between giving back and thinking about community, and then of course being a good human to my husband and my daughter. So life is busy, but life is fun, and trying to remember even these moments where the world can be complicated. Think about what we control. So I've been trying, that's my own development as I've been working on the last couple of years. You know, think about what brings you joy and what you control. And we offer that through, again, Saterman Connect and the work we do.
And it's such a great name, which really describes what you do so well. Connect.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's one of the things I love most about our world is building connections.
So tell us where people can go to the website to find out more about the company.
Yeah, so you can do satermanconnect.com. Lots of ways to connect with us, and not just with myself, but our amazing team. We have four leadership team members, myself, Nettie, Natalie, and Michael. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We share a ton of articles and write some ourselves. And so lots of ways for you to connect around all the work that we do. And we would love to connect over the phone, a Zoom call, a phone call, a Teams call, a pigeon carrier. We're very happy to connect. And yeah, and I just want to give one more thanks to you, Jeremy, because you know, we don't do any of these things alone. It takes people to do it with us. And so, Jeremy, you're an incredible coach. I learn from you all the time. And that's the power of iCoach, is the alumni, the way that we stay connected post-program, and how we raise each other up and share information with each other. The entire experience with iCoach Global has just been an incredible gift. And so thank you, Jeremy.
You're so welcome, and thank you. I'm love it that I am getting to interview you and these other superstars from our program, and time to unveil all of you guys so that you're no longer a secret to the world, and we're no longer a secret to the world. This is Jeremy Robinson from iCoach Global. We can reach us at www.icoachglobal. And thanks again, Josh Saterman. Love it.
Thanks for having me.